English listening test, level B1. There are 10 questions in different situations. You have 7 seconds to think and choose the best answer. Listen to people talking in various scenarios. Let's begin. 1. You will hear 2 friends discussing a recent concert they attended.
That concert was amazing.
If you're into that kind of music, I haven't heard anything as bad as that in a long time.
Oh, I didn't know you're not a fan of rock concerts.
Usually I am, but I wouldn't describe that performance as impressive. It's strange because the band is made up of 2 quite famous musicians, but I don't understand how they gained such popularity if that's the best they can do. It was all very disappointing.
Oh, really?
Two. You will hear 2 friends discussing a history assignment.
How's your history assignment coming along?
Not great. I'm having trouble figuring out what I'm supposed to do.
In that case, searching online might not be very helpful. You can find all the information there, but if you're unsure about what to do with it, it won't really benefit you. Have you talked to Mr. Anderson about it?
No, not yet.
It might be a good idea, especially since he assigned the homework. Bring your textbook when you go so he can clarify everything using that.
That sounds like a good plan.
Three. You will hear 2 friends discussing a beauty pageant competition they watched.
Did you catch that beauty pageant competition with Miss Johnson?
I did. She seemed so nervous during the Q&A round, even though the questions weren't especially challenging.
I know. But once she relaxed a bit, she shared a lot of insights about her platform and causes I didn't know anything about.
I don't think I've ever heard her talk in so much detail about her life before. In the previous round of the competition, her answers often strayed from the original questions, providing little insight into her personal experiences.
Yes, like she didn't really understand the question.
Exactly.
Four. You will hear a person talking about a painting class.
How was the painting class?
It was interesting, but I usually paint in a quiet studio. This time, we were outdoors with all the sounds and distractions. It was a different experience. I felt like I couldn't create as freely as I usually do.
Would you want to try it again?
I'll consider it, but if I do, I prefer to go with my friend Sarah again. Being in familiar company gave me more confidence and made the creative process more enjoyable.
Five. You will hear a girl talking to a friend about space exploration.
Hey, did you hear that podcast episode about space exploration?
I did, yeah.
It was fascinating when the scientist explained the latest discoveries about distant galaxies. Wouldn't you love to delve into the mysteries of the universe? You'd be a great astrophysicist. You have such a curious mind.
I guess. I can't say I understand much about those intricate space theories, though.
Some of them can be quite complex, especially when delving into the nature of black holes and dark matter. But the best way to grasp them is by exploring. That way, you'd learn and have fun with it.
Maybe one day.
Six. You will hear a person talking about a trip to Paris with their family.
How was Paris?
Great, except we had trouble finding our way around.
Oh no, how?
My aunt had this travel book that was at least 20 years old. We kept telling her that many things would have changed, so most of the information in it would be outdated. Surprisingly, even though the book was old, it was probably more accurate than the directions a local gave us to reach the Eiffel Tower. We ended up somewhere completely different. In the end, we only used the book for navigating the metro. The map is almost the same as it was back then.
Seven. You will hear two friends talking about a gardening workshop. I enjoyed that gardening workshop.
Me too. I don't think any of the plants looked unhealthy.
I think I noticed a few. Maybe they hadn't had enough time to nurture them properly.
Maybe. I still wish they had planted a little more, though. Perhaps a few more flowers.
I thought it was about right as it was. That kind of garden design looks so much better in a smaller space. I don't know why they chose to have it in that vast garden.
The flowers are too sparse for somewhere that size.
Eight. You will hear two friends talking about a hiking trip they recently took.
That was a fantastic hiking trip.
It was. Over half the people on the trail were from our school.
I guess that's not so unusual for a weekend hike. Most adults are occupied with other things.
I wonder what it's like being a park ranger. They must have to explore so many different areas.
The ones at this park certainly do. I found it difficult to believe how well they knew the terrain.
Yes, and I couldn't predict what we would discover at the end of the trail.
I studied the trail maps in geography class last year, so I already knew what landmarks we were going to see.
Nine. You will hear a person talking to a friend about a photography workshop they attended.
How was the photography workshop?
Fantastic. I learned so much.
So what was the best part?
There were so many. But if I could only choose one, I think it'd be how the instructor got us to practice techniques in a variety of different ways. I thought I'd spend most of the time taking pictures, but we did so many other activities, all of which were quite useful for developing our skills.
Sounds interesting.
And I never knew there were so many interesting facts about famous photographers. Our instructor seemed to know them all, which was great fun.
Ten. You will hear two friends talking about attending a cooking class.
Are you planning to attend the cooking class tomorrow?
I might cook on my own, actually. I want to try some new recipes.
But you'll enjoy it more if you join us.
It's often no different than cooking alone because everyone has different tastes.
We share cooking tips and taste each other's dishes too.
That's true, which is great during a potluck. But not when it means spending extra time on dishes I'm not interested in. At least you're considerate enough to respect individual preferences, though.
Great job on the B1 level English listening test. If you enjoyed it, subscribe for more. Keep up the good work and happy learning.